Hello guys, welcome back to our anime explainer. Guys, please like the video and subscribe to my channel. Today is explanation of Swallowed Star original continent based on novel. So let's start. In one of the secondary halls, 4 figures sat in silence. At that moment, Luo Feng walked in with a stone blade at his back as his eyes swept through the hall in one swift look. This time around, those treading the same path he was taking were Ice Mountain Master, Longyang Master, Deserted Mirror Master, and Remote Lord Master. In terms of power, Remote Lord Master was slightly inferior, but the other 3 were extraordinary, because they were extremely ancient beings. Ice Mountain Master and Longyang Master had been under Teacher Origin's guidance before, thus explaining their abilities. As for Deserted Mirror Master, he was the creator of the Universe Mercenary Alliance. That was a testimonial to his ability. Luo Feng. Luo Feng. Milky Way. Luo Feng. The 4 looked over and called out at the same time. Deserted Mirror Master said in a solemn tone, "For this war, I will only leave 1 body behind. The other 3 will follow you into the battlefield. This way, our team will be stronger," Luo Feng said with a sigh. Usually, Deserted Mirror Master would reap personal benefits for the Universe Mercenary Alliance under his command, but at the critical moment, he would not go soft. When one could become a Universe Master, to have more than 1 body was something quite common. Longyang Master also had another body. The majority of them would have a total of 2 bodies. 1 body would remain in the God Country, while the other would normally go out to battle. Like Deserted Mirror, Luo Feng and Primal Chaos City Leader, who were able to own more than 2 bodies, such great beings belonged to a minority. Just 1 Universe Master from this genre could fight against a few other ordinary Universe Masters. This was also the overall power of Deserted Mirror's Universe Mercenary Alliance, which was one of the reasons why this alliance was slightly stronger than the Universe Star River Bank and Universe First Bank. Deserted Mirror Master, Ice Mountain Master, Longyang Master, and Remote Lord Master, the 4 of you will attack at the same time, Luo Feng said. In this way, especially with the 3 bodies of Deserted Mirror out on the battlefield, with all of your powers combined, we can be confident of warding off even the attacks of Universe Supreme Masters. However, such tangled warfare can get very dangerous, so it is better to fight within the surroundings of the Boat of Mausoleum. True. Deserted Mirror and Ice Mountain both nodded. They were confident but not reckless. After all, given their surroundings alone, there were already 3 other pinnacle races as neighbors. Any one of these races was comparable to the humans. Should the 3 other races decide to lay siege to the humans, with their Universe Supreme Masters and greater number of Universe Masters, once the siege and fights commenced, the human race would definitely suffer a great loss. At this point, if the human race still insisted on their act of heroism, they would be courting death. However, if they had 6-tiered Universe Masters as their strength in battle, they did still have the capital for acts of heroism. This time, Deserted Mirror said in a low voice, am most worried that the other powers will act together. Undoubtedly, the 3 pinnacle races will attack. But if the other powers are to take action, too. The most terrifying ones are the Universe Supreme Masters who move about alone. If they were to join in, Luo Feng, Ice Mountain, Remote Lord, and Longyang were at a loss for words. Everyone wore awful expressions. True enough. The top 9 powers in the original universe were, namely, the Ancestral God School, the Humans, the Demons, the Automaton Race, the Bug Clan, Prison Clan, the Crystal Clan, the Northern Territory Alliance, and the Space Beast Alliance. Aside from the Humans, the Ancestral God School, the Demons, the Automaton Clan, the Bug Clan, and the Space Beast Alliance all had supreme true treasures. The Prison Clan, the Crystal Clan, and the Northern Territory Alliance did not have any. Because the Prison Clan and the Crystal Clan did not have any supreme true treasures, and were located in more remote areas, and, overall, slightly weaker, the other powers, like the Humans, Demons, Automaton Race, and Bug Clan, would usually engage in fights against these 2 groups just as aggressively, but they did not really consider 2 races as equals. A must know, other than these 9 top powers, there were also Supreme Masters that traveled alone, like Sitting Mountain Guest, Shahua Island Leader, Black Universe Creator, Virtual Real Devil God, and Demon Beast Ancestor. These Universe Supreme Masters were born as special life forms and grew up to become Universe Supreme Masters, so all of them were incomparably ancient, with strong powers that allowed them to be arrogant. In fact, the Alliance Master of the Northern Territory Alliance was a Supreme Master, who originally had been a lone traveler, but was eventually roped into joining the Alliance. Even so, he was only Alliance Master in name, and would only occasionally help out in the Alliance. That Alliance Master had his own supreme true treasure, but he would never use it for the purpose of helping the Northern Territory Alliance. Even if the Alliance was doomed, that Alliance Master would not feel the pressure at all. In the original universe, there were around a dozen Universe Supreme Masters, and they all bore grudges against one another. Demon Beast Ancestor, for example, proclaimed himself to be the guiding figure for the demons and the leading figure for the space beasts. He thought himself to be the true ancestor of both the demons and space beasts, which was why he called himself Demon Beast Ancestor. He had once basked in great glory, but later, the Space Beast Alliance and demons broke free from his control. This was one of the reasons why the demons were always so loud about the fact that the space beasts were a part of the demons. The dispute between the two races was, indeed, great. No matter what, these Supreme Masters who traveled alone were not to be trifled with. Some were mysterious, like Northern Territory Alliance Master, Sitting Mountain Guest, and Shahua Island Leader. Some fought their way through extremely great battles of fame, like Black Universe Creator, Demon Beast Ancestor, and Virtual Real Devil God. They were all born as special life forms, and they were more ancient than any other beings. Other than the unlucky Demon Beast Ancestor, everyone else had their own supreme true treasures that they carried around with them. 9 top powers and the group consisting of lone travelers. Secretly, Luo Feng was secretly on edge. The group consisting of lone travelers is more mysterious, as they have no need to fight for any race. They only have to take charge of themselves. And these special life forms are all extremely ancient, like my teacher Sitting Mountain Guest. This group of lone travelers certainly does not pale in comparison to any of the top 9 powers of the universe. With the inheritance of the pulse of Duan Dong River, the temptation to transcend a reincarnation era must be quite alluring to them. An intangible pressure within the hall kept Luo Feng, Ice Mountain, Deserted Mirror, and Remote Lord all in silence. Humph! Long Yang Master said in a hoarse voice. No matter who our enemy is, there is only one battle. We humans are left with no other choice. All 4 pairs of eyes, those of Luo Feng, Deserted Mirror, Remote Lord, and Ice Mountain, lit up. It was true. If their enemies were to kill their way through, what else could the human race do? They could only fight through this one battle. In 3 of the secondary halls of Primal Chaos City Leader Palace, 3 troops were waiting in silence. During the wait, a murderous intention was brewing within their hearts. A voice resounded in all 3 secondary halls at the same time, come quickly. Luo Feng, Ice Mountain, Long Yang, Deserted Mirror, and Remote Lord rose to their feet all at once, and with a single teleportation, they all disappeared at the same time. Within the main hall of Primal Chaos City Leader Palace. With Luo Feng leading the troop with Ice Mountain Master, Darkness Master leading the troop with Qingdong Master, and Peng Gong leading the troop with Void Gold Master, 3 troops appeared together. These 15 powerful beings all looked at Primal Chaos City Leader. Everyone, Primal Chaos City Leader's gaze swept through them all. The eyes of all the Universe Masters were surging with fighting spirit, as they were all ready for a bloody battle. The demons, the Bug Clan, and the automaton race, Primal Chaos City Leader said solemnly. Based on teacher Origin's speculation, the Universe Supreme Masters of these 3 groups should already have met up once for a discussion, and as of just a moment ago, the 3 races have started to take action. Luo Feng, Darkness Master, and Peng Gong Master could not help but show feelings of intense craziness in their eyes. They had truly attacked the human race. And every one of these 3 troops have Supreme Universe Masters, Primal Chaos City Leader continued. The moment they arrived in the starlit sky via their God Country transportation, Teacher Origin sensed it. The problem is that all of them had their universe supreme beings forcing their way into the virtual universe, which is why, out of these three troops, we are unable to tell which troop belongs to the Bud clan, or the demons. Everything is unknown to us. I trust that news of Huge Axe's annihilation will spread within the original universe very quickly, Primal Chaos City leader said with a heavy heart. I believe it will soon attract the other groups of superpowers, the groups of powers that are a notch less powerful, and even the Supreme Masters, who are lone travelers. Which is why this first battle must be one that can scare the various groups, and instill some fear so that there will at least be some who will hesitate in attacking us. If our race is weak, it will cause some other groups of powers to be worried, as they may lose out on advantages because of being late. I'm afraid that by then, the various groups of powers and universe supreme masters will all come at us in hordes. Then our human race will really be forced to retreat from the original universe. Everyone maintained silent. It was true. So what if they had 2 to 3 supreme true treasures? The 9 top powers of the universe, various top-notch groups of powers, and supreme masters who were lone travelers. Once all of them charged toward the human race together, it was certain death for anyone who tried to stand in their way, unless they hid in the boat of mausoleum throughout the entire war. But if they were to remain hidden, how would they protect their territory? Primal Chaos City leader's eyes were sharp. In a low growl, he continued, I have discussed the matter with Teacher Origin. In this first battle, our human race will send out 3 small troops to join forces and attack one of theirs. If we join our forces, in one swift move, we will destroy this troop. Let them suffer heavy losses, and make the other groups of powers so scared that they will not be mindlessly reckless. Yes. Destroy them. Launch a full attack on this one troop. Exterminate this troop. Luo Feng and the others gritted their teeth and roared. They were all aware that things would be tough, but they had to harden their hearts and be vicious. If they could not even destroy one troop of such, when the other powers came charging toward them, they would be facing their greatest nightmare. Great. Primal Chaos City leader said. Now, we set off right away. As for the coordinates of the 3 troops, we will head toward whichever is easiest for us to access. Then we will exterminate whichever troop we find there. Yes. Let's go. Let's go. All were shouting at the top of their lungs with rage shrouding their minds, voicing everything they had suppressed within their hearts. Now was the time for war, now was the time for their outburst. The human race had 3 troops composed of super beings with the strongest attacking force, and they had speedily left Primal Chaos City to arrive at the original universe. This set of coordinates. We can easily arrive here within the shortest time. The virtual universe had become the headquarters of the High Command, and Primal Chaos City leader was in control of the entire situation. This time around, the 3 troops had brought a large number of undying spirits, and many of these had, in turn, a large number of tokens scattered all over the universe. Therefore, they had efficient ways to get to their god country transportation. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. There was a boat of mausoleum, a black pyramid, and an ancient palace. This was a pinnacle palace true treasure, under the limit of the original universe. It had limited attacking force. Even so, it was impossible to cause damage to a pinnacle palace true treasure. They belonged to the 3 troops led by Luo Feng, Darkness, and Peng Gong, respectively. Amidst a dazzling golden light, time and space were contorted. Light rays of God country shone through time and space and reached out over a slightly further distance to envelop the boat of mausoleum, black pyramid, and ancient palace in its golden light rays. At the same time, it transported them over to their destination. You all are still about 120 light-years away from your target, Primal Chaos City leader informed via the virtual universe. These are the exact coordinates. Within the boat of mausoleum, Luo Feng was in his suit of silver armor with 2 pairs of widespread silver wings and a stone blade on his back. He also carried with him a pinnacle soul true treasure to protect his soul. Given his willpower, together with the pinnacle soul type true treasure, even if 10 virtual real devil god were to attack, he would have no fear. Teleport. 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 3 troops teleported almost simultaneously. Almost simultaneously, the boat of Mausoleum, Black Pyramid, an ancient palace leaped over a distance of 120 light-years, and appeared amidst a quiet and dark sky. There was not a single star in their surroundings, only a gigantic, dark grey vessel far away within that contorted space. The moment Luo Feng and the 3 troops appeared after teleporting there, a boundless and powerful aura surged and spread out from that gigantic vessel, then it swept towards Luo Feng and company. It's the demons. Luo Feng. The rest took one look at that gigantic vessel, and right away, they identified the targets of their attack for this round. Inside the large ship, a giant silver snake sat on the throne with its eyes half closed. His tail was winding around the edge of the throne, and the tip extended to the palace hall. In the palace sat 12 universe masters from the demon race, and this time, they had been sent here for the war. They had been preparing for the upcoming war. The silver snake gave a sidelong glance. All 12 universe masters followed his gaze. The wall of the spaceship couldn't block the sight whatsoever. They immediately saw 3 palace-type valuables appearing in the dark sky in the distance, a spaceship, a pyramid, and a palace. Boat of Mausoleum, said Dream Demon Master. It's a human. Humans, the universe masters screamed. The humans dare to emerge first. Humph. The dark sky outside the giant spaceship was like an endless ocean. Suddenly, time and space waves were formed in the dark sky. The twisted time and space formed powerful shock waves that shot toward those 3 palace-type valuables again and again. The Black Pyramid and the ancient palace immediately hid behind Boat of Mausoleum. The shock waves hit Boat of Mausoleum, but it was pretty stable. It wasn't affected when it was hit by all the supreme beings in Flame Ice region. The space and time waves were like nothing to it. Space and time waves hit the boat repeatedly while the 3 palace-type valuables resisted them like stones among the waves. Look, Luo Feng. It's that dream demon ancestor. Inside Boat of Mausoleum, Ice Mountain Master, Longyang Master, Huang Jian Master, and Remote Lord Master were all looking at the outside, holding their breath. So was Luo Feng. In the dark waves, a blurred, giant silver snake gradually appeared. It extended as if it ran through the entire sky. To the horror of everyone, it looked more than a light-year long. That dream demon ancestor is so huge, said Remote Lord Master. Huang Jian Master said coldly, Dream Demon Ancestor has the supreme true treasure dream scale to protect him. Normally, great beings wouldn't endlessly extend their bodies, as it would significantly weaken their defense. However, she is a universe supreme master with an incredible godly body. It was suppressed by the original universe, so she only showed the godly power 10,000 times stronger than universe masters. Besides, she has a supreme true treasure armor. With those 2 things combined, she can change his godly body however he wants. Ice Mountain Master squinted. It seems that she wants to annihilate us all together. Let's go, said Luo Feng. He teleported to the gate of Boat of Mausoleum. While fighting for the inheritance of Duandong River, he couldn't teleport in the boat. However, Luo Feng was the owner now, so he could use all the functions in the boat, so he could easily teleport. The gate opened, and Luo Feng stood at the gate. He took a look at the sky. The silver snake was a light-year long, and it rammed the boat. Its giant head hit the ship, while the universe masters of the demon race showed up. A being showed up beside the palace behind Boat of Mausoleum. It was Peng Gong Master. Luo Feng, he said. I'll fight him first. Peng Gong Master was holding Yang Jun Rod, which was black and purple. There were complex engravings, while there was armor, a pair of boots, and a helmet on Peng Gong Master's body. Peng Gong Master was powerful, and he dashed at that giant Dream Demon Ancestor, after an angry roar. Dream Demon Ancestor's gigantic body raced toward the 3 palaces. On top of its head was the spaceship where 12 universe masters of the demon race gathered. Look, the humans came out. It seems to be Peng Gong Master. He's too arrogant. Does he really think he alone can fight our Dream Demon Ancestor? He's seeking death. The 12 universe masters gathered and looked at the fight in relief, They were fairly confident they would win this battle. After all, they had a Universe Supreme Master. First, they would let Dream Demon Master show what she had. After all, if they meddled, Dream Demon Ancestor might be upset. Peng Gong Master spun Yang Jun Rod. Yang Jun Rod quickly expanded and became 100 million kilometers long from tens of thousands of kilometers long. The head of Yang Jun Rod was incredibly powerful, piercing through layers of space, hitting Dream Demon Ancestor's body, piercing through layers of space. Dream Demon Ancestor screamed, exclaiming, "A supreme true treasure." The head of Yang Jun Rod stung the giant body of Dream Demon Ancestor. Its body trembled and dropped back, but it wasn't hurt. "I can't believe you humans still have supreme true treasures. A supreme true treasure I've never seen." The giant snake's head looked down at Peng Gong Master, its voice resounding. "Though you have the power of a level 6 top-tier universe master, it means nothing. The original universe will suppress any power stronger than that. Even supreme masters can only exert the power of the top-tier 6th level. However, my body and my true treasure armor can protect me from attacks much stronger than that, not to mention attacks of the 6th level. These attacks can't kill me in the original universe." Ha ha ha. The humans didn't care about that at all. It was true. It was indeed impossible to kill a Universe Supreme Master in the original universe. However, the real target of the humans in this war wasn't Universe Supreme Masters, but Universe Masters. Kill. Kill. Luo Feng, standing on boat of Mausoleum, and Darkness Master, in the Black Pyramid in the distance, spoke. That meant the other two teams started. Bigger. 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 The Black Pyramid kept growing. Instantly, it turned into a giant Black Pyramid 3 light years tall. Compared to that, Dream Demon Ancestor was like a thin silver snake. That Black Pyramid crushed toward the giant silver snake. "Supreme true treasure," Dream Demon Ancestor said in a shocked voice. "Another supreme true treasure." The 12 Universe Masters were all stunned. They were thrilled that Peng Gong Master had a supreme true treasure. Now, they were horrified. How had the humans gotten 2 supreme true treasures so easily? And one of them was a palace type, the most valuable kind of supreme true treasures. Palace type true treasures usually had the ability to seal, and with supreme true treasures, one could adventure through more places in lands of extremis. They were very precious. Black Prison Tower. It's Black Prison Tower. How did the humans get Black Prison Tower from Easter Emperor Holy Land? Dream Demon Ancestor couldn't believe what she saw. She didn't think of it as a big deal when she saw the Black Pyramid. After all, lots of valuables had the shape of a Black Pyramid. However, there was only one supreme true treasure in the shape of a Black Pyramid, Eastern Emperor Black Prison Tower. Dream Demon Ancestor grew incredibly greedy. "No matter how you got that, we of the demon race want that Black Prison Tower." Black Prison Tower pressed down, causing Dream Demon Ancestor to back away. At the same time, she gave an order, "Demon race, attack. Get the 2 supreme true treasures." The 12 Universe Masters of Demon race were all excited after receiving the order. "Yes, Demon Ancestor. Yes, Demon Ancestor. We've been waiting for this moment for too long. 2 supreme true treasures. With these 2, our power will be greatly strengthened. The human race is indeed exceptional. Kill. 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 Get them all. Prohibition Master, Sky Wolf Master, and Yumo Master. All the Universe Masters from the Demon race roared. They all looked different, representing various clans of the Demon race. They teleported at the same time and rushed toward the battlefield. The 12 Universe Masters acted at the same time. The 12 Universe Masters arrived at the battlefield instantly. Just when Peng Gong Master and Darkness Master were fighting Dream Demon Ancestor, they attacked Peng Gong Master. Magic Vine. 9 Sectors of Heart. Extinction Fire. Some spiritual force weapons were attacking by winding, and there were illusion attacks and soul attacks. There were also huge blades, axes, and claws. The 12 Universe Masters cooperated and attacked, especially under the suppression of the original universe. They were more terrific than a Universe Supreme Master. "We're waiting for you." Darkness Master, Luo Feng, and Peng Gong Master were in different places, yet they were all sneering. Dark sinking. The Black Pyramid spread endless black engravings, covering the vast area, as well as the 12 Universe Masters. Luo Feng, who hadn't acted, opened his wings as well. The golden light covered an area of 10 square light years, and his pinnacle domain type true treasure snow sand ocean was used as well. White sand floated in the sky. The white sand and the blurry golden light were combined and formed an incredible bond, binding the 12 Universe Masters. Golden Country and Snow Sand Ocean. When they two were combined, they immediately repelled all the pinnacle domain type true treasures. There weren't any domain type supreme true treasures, so the combination of Golden Country and Snow Sand Ocean were invincible. Boat of Mausoleum immediately became bigger and charged at the 12 Universe Masters. The 12 Universe Masters from the demons, who were just filled with fighting spirit and confidence, were instantly dealt repeated heavy blows. The lofty black pyramid that was suspended high up in the air unleashed bouts of black ripples that unfolded and dispersed toward them, and these black ripples easily penetrated through their armor and reached within their godly bodies to start exerting influence over their souls. What is happening? It seems like no more strength. Willpower. I cannot focus my willpower. Prohibition Master and the rest of the Demon Universe Masters knew they were in trouble. This technique of sinking into the darkness was a move meant for attacking a group, but because it was attacking all 12 of them at the same time, it could not cause them to sink completely. Yet with their entire bodies feeling void of strength and their willpower unable to focus, even if they were to consume their godly powers and battle on with gritted teeth, the power they could release seemed to be only half of what they actually exerted. No fighting spirit. Willpower is under the influence. In such a terrible form. They were all feeling awful when an endless golden light and snow-white grains of sand floating about started to appear within a region of 10 light years around them. If sinking into the darkness was influencing their willpower and souls on the surface, causing them to fall under an extremely great influence, then this combination of Golden Kingdom and Snow Sand Ocean would be a material attack that placed a gigantic restraint over them. It was as though countless ropes were encircling the Universe Masters, binding every single one of them. It's a domain. That's Luo Feng's domain. Why does he still have his silver wings? I thought his silver wings got lost when he was in the 9th deep abyss. How is it possible that now? Luo Feng's wings were still around, yet the domains of these Universe Masters were easily oppressed and crushed. Within this region of 10 light years, everything fell under the influence of the countless icy cold, snow-white grains of sand floating in the golden light. Under this restraint, their powers were further reduced. Sinking into the darkness and restraining the domain were two moves that suppressed the average power released by the 12 Universe Masters to only 30% of their battle power. Among them, although Prohibition Master's willpower had reached the level of a Universe Supreme Master, where the influence over him was smaller, he could, at most, unleash 60 to 70% of his power. As for the others who were weaker, like Sky Wolf Master, the power they could release was left with only 10 to 20%. Peng Gong Master and Darkness Master, your troops will jointly attack those 12 Universe Masters. Luo Feng performed a voice transmission instantly through his domain. Leave Dream Demon Ancestor to my troop. All right. All right. Peng Gong Master and Darkness Master responded right away. Luo Feng stood at the front deck of the gigantic boat of Mausoleum and dashed toward the 12 Demon Universe Masters without further ado. Dream Demon Ancestor was growling and roaring as it swung its body against Black Prison Tower in its attempt to stop Darkness Master from using the move sinking into the darkness, but at that very moment, Luo Feng, Dream Demon Ancestor's huge snake's head looked at the fast-moving boat of Mausoleum and knew the situation was bad. The 12 Universe Masters from its clan were already under extremely strong influence. If even it was being laid siege by Luo Feng, Peng Gong Master, and their troops, would that not mean they were finished? Get lost. It had a mighty, massive body, and because it was so humongous, it could easily attack Black Tower Prison, Peng Gong Master, and the Boat of Mausoleum. With a single wave of its tail, it swung and whipped the Boat of Mausoleum. "Come on." Standing on the deck of the boat, Luo Feng's eyes lit up. Where it was originally charging toward the 12 Universe Masters, the Boat of Mausoleum suddenly changed course in another direction. The Boat of Mausoleum suddenly started to expand from 100 billion kilometers to 1 trillion kilometers. In an instant, it had expanded to a size that was comparable to Dream Ancestors. Previously, in Flame Ice region, when the 5 true masters of the Divine Eye clan utilized their supreme true treasures to form the attack technique Eternal True God, Luo Feng also expanded the Boat of Mausoleum quickly and used it to defeat Eternal True God. This Boat of Mausoleum was an automaton treasure from the ancient civilization. In terms of dynamism and dominance, it was a notch stronger than normal supreme true treasures. A gigantic vessel and a large silver snake, both were around the size of 1 light year. Two massive creatures were colliding against one another amidst the silent, starlit sky. "Roar!" Dream Demon Ancestor yelled, but she was quick to realize that pitting strength against the Boat of Mausoleum was pure stupidity. The speed of the Boat of Mausoleum was not the least bit affected, whereas her massive silver snake body was sent flying into the distance, belly up. Dream Demon Ancestor suddenly let out a furious shout. "Luo Feng!" When the Boat of Mausoleum was expanding, Luo Feng had suddenly vanished and charged toward the 12 Demon Universe Masters in the distance. With a huge pair of silver wings outspread, like a dazzling, sharp blade screaming through the air, he charged toward the 12 Universe Masters with murderous intention. Luo Feng had originally planned to make use of the Boat of Mausoleum to deal with Dream Demon Ancestor. However, he saw that Dream Demon Ancestor had no plans to shrink into a smaller body. Instead, she seemed prepared to confront him head-on with that massive body as her way of resistance, so Luo Feng simply changed plans and charged toward the other 12 Universe Masters, leaving only an avatar of himself that was sustained by his godly power to control and navigate the Boat of Mausoleum. The Boat of Mausoleum was an automaton vessel, so it was very easy to control. Duan Dong River had died long ago, so now, a mere virtual consciousness was able to control the Boat of Mausoleum. Furthermore, Luo Feng only needed to use part of his godly power to control it. Even so, the power that it unleashed was certainly not to be underestimated. 12 Demon Universe Masters were instantly overcome with desperation. Sinking into the darkness and restraining the domain. Peng Gong Master, Luo Feng, and Darkness Master were charging toward them in the open. Yet who knew when the other human universe masters laying ambush in the dark would take action, while the three were dealing blows to them. The opponents had supreme true treasures, and that black prison tower, in particular, could keep them sealed and suppression. "Quickly! Take cover in here!" Into the boat. The 12 Demon Universe Masters did not dare to make any reckless moves. Immediately, all of them hid in the huge vessel. "Ancestor! Ancestor! Ancestor!" All 12 Universe Masters immediately pleaded for help. If they were up against the humans 1-to-1, they were certainly not weaker in comparison. Who would have expected the humans to have a supreme true treasure? This put them in a disadvantageous position, which had resulted in them being placed at the losing end right at the very beginning. Roar! From afar, Dream Demon Ancestor, who had been on the losing end from the start, pitted against the Boat of Mausoleum, raised its snake's head and screamed out in rage. It was clear that being caught in a fight with the Boat of Mausoleum was a silly move, so merely after a single exchange of blows, it reluctantly changed its strategy and shrank its godly body speedily. From as large as 1 light year, it rapidly transformed into a silver snake that was 10,000 kilometers long. Previously, it had taken up such a large form because it thought it would give it an edge over its opponent, that its massive size could suppress the entire troop of great beings from the human race. Then it could get the 12 Universe Masters from its clan to join forces and sweep out the entire human troop. But reality mocked it. Its opponents had the Boat of Mausoleum and Black Prison Tower, which were 2 supreme true treasures palaces, so there was no way it could counterattack. Therefore, its initial plans added up to failure. After it had transformed into a silver snake merely 10,000 kilometers long, Dream Demon Ancestor's speed quickly soared, at such a rate that it instantly surpassed the limit of the speed of light. It moved so fast that the naked eye could not see it. Only by probing around the domain with one's godly power could there be any hope of detecting Dream Demon Ancestor, who was moving at such a terrifying speed. This is what we call a Universe Supreme Master. Luo Feng, Peng Gong Master, and Darkness Master were all sighing in their hearts. Prior to the battle, they had devised strategic plans, because they did not feel that dealing with the demons would be easy. Just a Dream Demon Ancestor in its shrunken form, with its ability to surpass the speed of light and travel at such an unrestrained speed, it would be unstoppable. There would be no way they could restrain it. It could arrive at any critical spot on the battlefield immediately as it pleased. Get lost. The silver snake let out a roar and immediately crashed into the Black Prison Tower. Black Prison Tower reeled backward as it was thrown off its track. It's too fast. Luo Feng and Peng Gong Master looked at one another. After the silver snake crashed right into Black Prison Tower, it stopped, suspended in midair. The 12 Universe Masters, who were hiding within the gigantic vessel, flew over and landed on the neck of Dream Demon Ancestor. All their godly bodies were maintained at a size of around 10,000 kilometers. Humans. Dream Demon Ancestor's icy gaze swept the surroundings. I have underestimated you all. However, without any Universe Supreme Master, the control rights of this fight lies with me. Now, I have decided that I shall deal with you all slowly, one after the other. Dream Demon Ancestor's gaze swept the humans and stopped at Peng Gong Master. First on the list will be you. Dream Demon Ancestor moved instantly. Its speed was so fast that it was terrifying. Peng Gong Master, on the other hand, let out an angry growl. He was holding onto Yang Jun Rod, which suddenly expanded as large as 1,000,000 kilometers. Then it mightily swept outward. All at once, time and space shattered to shards as Yang Jun Rod and Dream Demon Ancestor's tail crashed into one another. Dream Demon Ancestor was hit so hard that it was sent flying backward. Likewise, Peng Gong Master was forced to retreat a short distance. If this was Universe Ocean, do you think you would be my match? Dream Demon Ancestor roared in rage, full force attack. Yes, Ancestor. Yes. Meet your doom, Peng Gong. Meet your doom. The handful of Demon Universe Masters on the neck of its godly body attacked at the same time. At that moment, be it a far-range spiritual weapon attack, an enlarged blade hacking from afar, a soul-enforced attack, or an illusion attack, everything was thrown over at the same time, targeting Peng Gong Master in the distance. Sinking into the darkness. Black Prison Tower flew over and once again, it unleashed endless black ripples and tried to exert its influence over the 12 Universe Masters. Suppress. Luo Feng commanded in a low voice. Golden Kingdom and Snow Sand Ocean exerted their influence to suppress at the same time. Breaking free from everything. Dream Demon Ancestor roared. Instantly, all its godly power surged. At that moment, the surrounding time and space trembled and eventually became contorted. Its strong godly power was trembling. Time and again, it was hit by impacts, yet it could still turn the tables on the incoming force from Golden Kingdom and Snow Sand Ocean and force its suppression over them instead. Even the black ripples from Black Tower Prison had all been completely suppressed by it. The 12 Universe Masters were not the least bit affected. At the same time, all their attacks were directed at Peng Gong Master, who was trying his best to ward off the various hits with his Yang Jun Rod to no avail. His wits had been beaten out of him. After all, when the 12 Universe Masters joined forces without being under any influence, the strength they released was truly more terrifying than what a Universe Supreme Master was capable of. Ha ha ha. You are the first to be annihilated. Dream Demon Ancestor yelled as its speed soared at a terrifying rate. Right away, it charged toward Peng Gong Master. It was Dream Demon Ancestor. And the 12 Demon Universe Masters under its command were all joining forces. Even if Peng Gong Master had Yang Jun Rod, there was no escape from being sealed and suppressed. This video will end here.